When it comes to displaying vintage Star Wars figures, there are a few established ways of doing this. So in this video, we'll go over the pros and cons of each method, and then I'll show you what I decided for my collection. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and after years of waiting, I'm finally ready to put my Star Wars figures on display. And I wanted this to look the best it possibly could be, so I did a bit of research and quickly realised that a very common method is to simply copy the back of a Power of the Force card back, then stick a yak face on the end and find a couple of spots for the additional R2-D2 and C-3PO figures. However, this will not work for me for two reasons. Firstly, I'm working with an area that's approximately 1.8 meters across and 50 centimeters high, and to allow each figure to be seen clearly, I'm going to be stacking the figures on 3 levels, and secondly, this method puts the last 17 figures front and center, and given that I stopped playing with Star Wars figures in early '84, I have no emotional attachment to them whatsoever, so I don't want these figures being the first ones you see. Another common method is to group the figures by character, and by that I mean all the Luke Skywalkers go together, followed by all the Han Solos, and then the Leias and the Landos. How you organise the remaining figures is anyone's guess, but for me, this makes for a very unbalanced display, as your eyes are immediately drawn to the groups of the same figures, and the rest just become an afterthought. So what did I decide on? Well, I've gone for a display that's based loosely on when the characters first appeared on screen. And let me repeat that for the hard of thinking, based loosely on when the characters first appeared on screen. Now, I've not watched the original trilogy for 9 years, so I'm working with memory here. So please don't be the guy that comments by telling me that Ree-Yees actually appeared before Yak Face. Here it is, 5 years in the making, and I'm so happy with how this turned out. Now, it may not look like it, but there is method to my madness here. And in actual fact, I had initially left gaps between the 3 movies, but it just looked really unbalanced due to the fact that there are just so many Return of the Jedi figures when compared to the other movies. You will also see that I've included the special retro collection figures as well as some of the customs from Stan Solo. I know that this isn't for everyone, but for me, these are a continuation of the original Kenner line. Now, in terms of variants, I'm not concerned with different colours of hair paint, but in the case of the vinyl cape Jawa, small head Han Solo, and the blue Snaggletooth, these figures are suitably different that they deserve to be on display. So with the variants, retro collection, and Stan Solo figures, that brings me up to about 120 figures on display. And if you're wondering about the Max Rebo band, yes, I do consider that to be part of the figure line, but due to space constraints on the acrylic risers, I have these on another shelf with my vehicles and playsets, as well as dozens of other Star Wars figures. So there it is. Finally, after years of waiting, I have my figures on display. So thank you all for watching, and please do leave a comment to tell me how you display your Star Wars figures.